All right, let's get started. A very warm welcome to everyone on the call. We have people from around the globe dialing in today, so I'm really pleased to see that. So thank you so much for joining. Hopefully, the video that we just played gave you a good introduction of what is Employee Center. And this is Employee Center Academy. So we essentially touch upon everything that sort of things that you heard on the video and more monthly as part of this series. And this is a live on ServiceNow series. Um, this, just to give you a little bit more context, live on ServiceNow is an interactive set of events that we do. These are webinars, these are 360 exchange, these are show and tell webinars to help you understand what other customers are doing, and a lot more. So see the schedule using the QR code over here, QR code over here, and you can see events for all across different products at ServiceNow. The link will also be on the chat. Now, a little bit more context for Employee Centered Academy. So, as an academy session, this is literally an hour for you to interact with us, learn about a particular topic. I'll talk about what's today's topic in just a few minutes, and ask us questions. We have a really rich panel of experts today joining us. They will be looking at the Q&A panel today. So please ask your questions. We will also try to create some room for live Q&A at the end. But we will be taking questions throughout the presentation. So please do ask questions. And then again, this is not designed to be just a presentation. It's designed to be a space where we show you how to configure the product. We open an instance and we show how things are done. We literally walk you through with a live demo of configuring it. So this is more than just a slideware presentation. And we typically are a monthly series, so we are back every month. Once you register for an academy session, you automatically receive the invites for the next month. So you essentially register for the whole series. Just a point, today is the last academy session that we will have for this year. The December one is canceled because it is right in the middle of holidays. So it is canceled for that reason. And we will be back again in January next year. And a thumb of rule, we have a session every third Wednesday of a month. So the third Wednesday of January, we will be having our next session. The schedule for 2024 will be coming in December. Now, a few more things on the logistics. I mentioned we have a Q&A panel. Please make sure all your questions are on the Q&A panel. We are not monitoring the chat for questions. So if you have posted your question on chat, it is likely that we will miss it. Please use the chat for comments. You like something, you have some feedback, put it on comments or put it on chat, and keep your questions that you want to get an answer on in the Q&A panel. And then the slides and video for this will be shared. I see a couple of folks asking for videos of our previous session. All of these are actually on YouTube, or they are on the event page that we have on community. So you would see the event page shared for this particular session shortly on chat. These slides and videos will go over there. And for any of the older sessions, you can just go on YouTube. There is a playlist for Employee Center that you can access, and you can see all the video recordings of previous sessions over there. Okay, so let's get to the meat of the conversation. We have a very, very exciting topic today. It is employee news. It is part of an it is an EC Pro capability and part of the employee communication set of capabilities within EC Pro, Employee Center Pro. Introductions. My name is Pooja Gupta. I know I'm the host for the Employee Center Academy, so a lot of you people may have heard from me before. I'm a senior manager of outbound product management within the Unified Employee Experience product team. This is the product team that essentially focuses on Employee Center and all related capabilities that help create a great front end from an employee perspective. So these are Employee Center, now mobile, even conversational interfaces. So you would see elements of all these other products also part of the Employee Center Academy because they are essentially very nicely tied together. I'm joined by my esteemed colleague, Melody Young, who's a solution consultant with our employee workflow organization, and she will be helping me with the demo for the employee news. Melody, you want to say hi and add to that introduction, please?
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Melody Young. As Pooja had mentioned, I am a solution consultant here at ServiceNow, based in the Bay Area, and my role is to talk to our awesome customers about how ServiceNow can provide more value and solve various problems within the HR space. So I'll be leading the demo, and I'm looking forward to sharing more about employee news for today.
Awesome. Thanks, Melody. Let's get started. Before that, let's also just quickly discuss what we will cover. So of course, we will do a deep dive on employee news and all the things that we have, like what makes it a great capability. We'll deep dive into that. We will also do a live demo, and in the live demo, we will focus on the front end experience of employee news on the portal, and also the authoring experience for employee news. So we will cover these two aspects of employee news. There's more to employee news, but we will focus on these in the demo. Now, this is an employee centered academy. We appreciate conversations around employee center as in what you like, but please limit your questions towards news, point your questions towards news, and we have a ton of content that will help you get started with employee center, talk about additional features and capabilities and release information and implementation guides and so on that you can access from community. So please refer to this link shortly shared on chat to get access for anything generic that you have on Employee Center. We would like to focus on news in this session. Now, as part of community, you would also see that we have a few office hours. First one that I want to highlight is Employee Center deployment. We always have people who are in middle of deployment, or have deployed and have additional questions on how we can expand. All those questions, it'll be better positioned in these office hours. And our next one is on November 28th. That is next week, the week after Thanksgiving, sorry. So please keep your questions for that. And you can register for this event directly via the QR code available over here. We also have an office hour for focusing on broader employee communications capabilities. These are our content experiences capabilities, and they go beyond and talking about microsites, posting videos, content governance, content analytics, and even actionable banners that we have. So any questions around that, these office hours would be great. And our next session is on December 7th, and it will be the last session for the month. So if you have like anything urgent, put it on Q&A, but we would want the session to focus on news. Last but not the least, I do want to highlight that we have roadmap webinars coming up soon. So a lot of you on the call are interested in learning about what we are shipping or what is in our roadmap for 2024. We will be sharing these details on like highlights on our 2024 roadmap and a deep dive into our February 2024 release as part of the roadmap webinar on 29th and 30th. So I definitely encourage you to join these. These webinars are confidential in the sense like the roadmap details are not shared anywhere beyond these webinars. And so please do attend if you are interested in learning about Employee Center Roadmap. All right. That concludes all the initial intro stuff and setup. So let's get into employee news. Let's first talk about communications in general, and why we need to do those. Um, no surprise to anyone on the call here, informed employees are more engaged with the organization, and they are more productive because they get to know about what needs to be done faster, they are more prepared, and are able to act on the things, on the jobs to be done faster. So they're more productive. But there are many challenges that organizations face in keeping employees informed. First and foremost, there are just way too many channels of communication. There is an intranet site, there is a service portal, or even service portal is divided between different departments. There is a mobile channel, there is email, there is your conversational interface. There's just too many different places where employees are going to stay informed. And what communication, how we can make sure, like, the right communication is reaching the right person is becomes very difficult when there are too many channels. Second, often communications are not actionable. So, like you have informed someone that something, like, there is um, uh, quarterly reviews season on, and like you have a new policy. What do I do about it? Like, how can I convert from there and set goals? Like, these are not always connected. So like communications are done, but they're not done in an actionable way, or making them actionable is hard. The third piece is, often communication is one size fits all. Like, everyone gets the same communication. It's not tailored to that audience. It's up to the audience to, like, consume the communication that is relevant to them and ignore what is not. But it becomes too much and too difficult to consume, and it thereby becomes less effective. And finally, communications are not just in time, they're not in the moment. They're not like when you are browsing for support help and like relevant information is available right there for you. So it kind of, like, you have to go break your flow of work and get to the place where communications are being made to stay informed, which is not helpful. Now, employee communications capabilities that we have with Employee Center Pro, everything that you hear around content experiences, be it an actionable banner or microsites, they all aim to solve for these challenges. And many organizations have been thinking about how we can use a more news-like capability to further extend what they have been offering from a communication standpoint, or solving for all these problems that I'm highlighting here. That is what our employee news functionality is focused on. So it is a purpose-built solution for delivering employee news, and we'll talk about what is news a lot more as we go through this session. But it is things like just in time or in the moment information around communicating changes, organizational announcements, activities, and more. Like, it's essentially everything that you would position as news in an organization, um, to provide a new solution that um, creates an end-to-end experience centered around employee news. So this kind of highlights what it is. We first launched this in August 2023 and have been extending it since then. So we also have a November release after that, which expanded into it. So everything that I'll focus on today will focus on the latest and greatest. So we will talk about November. So what we have delivered with Employee News is an omni-channel and personalized experience to make sure relevant news and updates are in the forefront of employees, no matter where they are, in what channel they are on. And this communication is available to them in an engaging manner. It is also searchable. So they can use AI search capabilities to make sure they are able to search for this new communication that they just saw but can't find it now. They can use AI search and get to it. That's the front end. But at the back end, we also focused heavily on making authoring for these news experiences a lot easier for content authors. So we are focused on a drag and drop editor. We are focused on how we can combine the authoring experience with all the other authoring experience that we have for communication. So it is not a separate thing to do for communication authors. So you will see me talk a lot about that. Let's start with the front end and talk about what we have created for an end user. Um, if you're familiar with Employee Center Pro, you would see a lot of the screenshots. I was just focusing on that, and I'll walk you through if I'm a user who is getting inside a portal, how would I get to news and what my experience will be. And as we will get into the demo, you will see this come to life. So um, first thing and foremost, we have put news central to the homepage. So you would see there's a new latest news widget, which is directly available on homepage. It also has access to what we call a news center. A news center is also placed on the mega menu. And the news center is essentially a dedicated experience focused on news. I'll talk a lot more about what this experience is in just a minute. But essentially, there is a dedicated space built on the portal where an employee can go for getting access to all their news. And then the news is also available in the moment in a topic page. So let's say an employee is actually on an IT topic page or on an HR or a benefits topic page. The news that is related to changes in that space or anything new in that space is possible to be highlighted right on that topic page. So the topic pages are essentially becoming, again, the centralization of everything that you need to know about that topic in one single place. So news is another thing that you would want to just position on topic pages. Let's dive deep into what is this news center. So like it's clear the homepage has a widget which you can access news articles from. News is placed on topic pages. So it's again it's a widget that gives you access to news articles positioned over there. Let's dive deep into what is News Center. So here's a deeper screenshot of News Center. First and foremost, we've linked News Center to the mega menu. That means irrespective of where the employee is, they are on a search page, they are on a topic page, they are on a standalone microsite or a manager hub, they can see News Center up on top and can always go to the News Center with a click of button. When you get inside the News Center, there is a nice tiled layout of featured news. We call it the featured news widget, which puts a spotlight on the most important news articles highlighted by the author as part of their publishing rules. There is also a place in the center. This was the featured news. And then there's also a place in the center where all the news is positioned. So you can actually you want to access all the news. You can access it from there. And what you would see over here is that there's also some personalization options. So, as a user, I like to view all my news in a list format. I can do that. Or I want it to be in a tiled format. I can do that. As an admin, I can even pre-configure the news to appear in the list view or a tile view based on my organizational preferences. What I also like about the News Center is that they have this nice pagination up at the bottom. As you start using news more and more, you will see there are a lot of articles that an employee may have to browse through. The pagination helps them understand how many news articles are there, which page they are on, and go back to their previous pages to search and browse for news articles. It's a very nice indication of content available. Then one thing new that we built as part of our November release is news categories. So content authors can actually define a category for news article and have the end user filter down to that category to see what all is available to it. So, you could think of different ways of building categories. They could be geography based, like this is US news versus global news. It could be based on a particular topic. So like this is pay and benefits news, or this is IT news, or travel and relocation news. And you can just build these categories, predefine it at the back end. And there's a lot of publishing streamlining that can also be possible with a predefined category. And from an end user perspective, you can select that category and narrow down and see all the content that is available just for that category. So let's say this was US news, and you can filter down to just a page which will take you to everything that is related or tagged to US news. So a category based experience with news is something that a lot of our customers, a lot of you on the call were also asking for. So we've delivered that as part of our November release. And then the News Center also has many additional communications widgets pre-placed to make this page a lot more engaging and relevant for users. Things like upcoming events are always sort of like news, so we definitely place that one here as well. Let's talk about an article view. So like once you get inside the news, like the icons that you were seeing, the titles that you were seeing, that was not the entire news article. When you click on that, a new article page view is created. And this is different from knowledge articles. This is a whole different content type. We'll talk about that in a minute. So these are not the same as knowledge articles. These are news articles which are created as part of the communications module within Employee Center Pro. And there are different components of this page and the article that you built. First is, of course, the headline. This is what is populated across all the tiles where the news shows up, along with a subtitle and an image. You can choose whether you want the title, the image or subtitle to be available across all the tiles, or you just want a headline. But these are the components that kind of make the tile that is available across all widgets that we just saw. And then when you click on the article, you see the article body, which is this bottom part over here. And we have a very nice drag and drop layout to create this, which gives it, which makes it possible to build the article body in any format and using different types of components. So you could have videos, tabs, buttons, and so on, which makes this article a lot more engaging from an end user perspective. So the example that you see here, you can see there are columns, there are images. You could also have one of these images be a video. So it is definitely a more engaging experience. And then there's also another widget on the article page view. It's which allows the user to see and keep browsing for any additional news that they may be interested in. Now, I mentioned that news articles are searchable. So if you're using AI search on Employee Center, you can actually see a new tab on top, which is filtering for news articles. And you can see that example over here. The good thing is when you are indexing news, you're able to index not just the title, you can index the body, the subtitle, and all of the other details associated to make the news articles a lot more relevant. So a great way to make news easily accessible as part of the whole experience on Employee Center Pro. Then I mentioned that the news is the experience that we have built is omni-channel. So we now have employee news as part of our mobile application as well. So if you're using the mobile application that is built by ServiceNow, you would see, and you have Employee Center Pro, you would see News Center appear as part of your homepage as a link at the bottom. Featured news available on the homepage directly, and the News Center link would take you to the News Center experience on mobile, which is essentially an MESP page. And what we mean by MESP page is that it is a mobile embedded service portal page, which means this will be completely in sync with your portal configurations without having additional mobile platform configurations or work to be done, development to be done. The news article view also opens as an MESP page. And news is also searchable on the mobile AI search experience. So you have the full breadth of the experience directly on mobile experience as well, or mobile channel as well. Now you will see a lot more of this come to life. I did a very quick review over slides, but you will see this come to life when we get into the demo. But let me do the same for the authoring experience. And this will help when you see the demo to look for things that I'm talking about. So let's just dive deep into the authoring experience, and then we will get into the demo. So first and foremost, I mentioned that news articles, the body and everything is not the same as knowledge articles. So essentially, news articles is a new content type that we have created as part of content library. So you can see in the back screenshot over here, there is a whole new news article content format that you can pick when you are building new communications. And that would get you to the content library view. So the same that you use for building any other style content, a banner, or any other rich content on Employee Center Pro. So the good thing is news is leveraging all the capabilities that we have shipped as part of content library, which includes translations based on integration with the localization framework, the nuanced targeting that you could do with our audience capabilities, distributed ownership of governance, version management, and a lot more. So a new content type, news articles, part of content library. Second, for building the article body, we now have a drag and drop editor, which is based out of the rich content editor that we had for microsites. It's using the same functionality, and you can see from the screenshot that it's essentially a blank canvas where you can put a lot of different components, whether it's tabs, column structure, or it is a link to additional external content, a button, and so on, to make that content really engaging. And it is a completely drag and drop functionality with a lot of advanced editing and formatting options available as part of the interface itself. So a really nice way to create the articles easily. We will be creating an article live, so you will see this come to life during the demo. Now, one thing I want to highlight, which sometimes can get missed, is that we have made the publishing experience extremely seamless for mobile, for employee news. The main thing that we have done is we have built what we call content templates, and the content templates gives you predefined publishing plans based on content destinations that you have defined. So essentially, as an author, I say this article should follow the let's say news default content template. The content template will tell the article that by default the news goes into the featured news widget, it goes on the all news widget, and it goes on the homepage widget. It does not go on topic page, as an example. All of these destination and the publishing plans are pre-built when the author is finished with design and goes to the publishing plan. So if you would see the screenshot in the bottom right, you can see the articles, the publishing plans are pre-built. And this publishing pre-plans are based on the content template that the author had selected before. You'll again see this during the demo, but because you're selecting a content template, you essentially are not building the publishing plan individually for every widget you want the article to appear on. So you kind of do a bulk publish of that article across different content destination sites, places, widgets. We'll talk. Feel free to ask questions on this. We can go deeper into this and clarify further when we do the demo. Last but not the least, before we jump into the demo, is that we also have some analytics capabilities around news shipped out of box. So if you are using our user experience analytics module, which is available to everyone as part of a platform capability, the metrics around news are available as part of it. And they are tracked as an event, and you can see news occurrences and page views as part of the user experience analytics dashboard. So just wanted to bring this up so people are aware and are leveraging this capability. Quick note, to be able to leverage this, you would have to enable track analytics using the news headline widget on the news article page. So you do that for one article and it would enable analytics for all. With that, let's get into the demo, and Melody, I'll hand it over to you for that.
Yep, thank you, Pooja. I will share my screen here. And all right, hopefully we are seeing my employee center. Okay, I'm gonna take that as a yes.
Yes.
So for today, I'm gonna be showing two different perspectives. One from the employee who is trying to navigate and try and looking at news articles on their employee center, as well as that back end with authoring and publishing news articles. So right now, as this employee view here, this employee center is my go-to, my digital front door for anything that I need, whether it's looking at news and communications, getting some help, reading knowledge articles, and more. So with the news articles, I can navigate to this news center section here, or I can also look at it just from my main homepage and see the latest news widget and click into it and read these articles as well. From this latest news widget, I can look at the news articles, news center from there and be redirected and start to see other articles that I have access to. Right up on top, there are featured news that is new to November release, as well as in the middle section here, just all the news that exist. So as an employee, I can toggle between seeing this in the list view or in that tile view as well, just based on whatever makes sense to me and how I want to view this information. And adding videos is another option as well. If I want to have just watch the video and engage with the content in a different way, then I have that capability and I have that access. And lastly, the categories is the new feature as well. It is giving me that ability to narrow down my topic and kind of understand which articles I want to specifically click into. So let's say if I want to look at company news as one of the categories, now I can see all the articles that are organized under this section as well. Now, in addition to seeing the news articles just on that main page, as well as the on the news center, I can also have the news be in a topic page. Let's say if I was looking for some help on maybe a broken laptop or something, and I just want to go to my help center and see the technology services topic page. Once I browse, I can start to look at all the requests and the knowledge articles that live on there, as well as the related news to that topic. So the ICO network security, welcoming our new CIO, that is all relevant to this technology services page. And I can just get more rich information about what's happening from an IT standpoint. So let me pause here. Any questions on this so far in terms of just the front end view, employee center, and just what we've seen so far with news?
No, Melody, I think all the questions are being answered. One thing I do want to highlight is if as an admin, when you go to any of the widgets, the news widgets that we are like that Melody was showcasing, if you control right click on it, if you're using Windows, it opens the instance options. And the instance options is where you can configure a lot more different things as part of the experience. So just wanted to make sure people are looking into instance options as well when they look into creating an experience of choice.
Yep, thank you for adding that. All right, so this is just a front end view. I want to give a quick tour to it. Now, I know the next section that we're interested in is on how to actually create these articles, publish them, and make sure that the right people see the news that they should. So let me get into the back end view now and get started with that. Now, on the back end view, I'm going to start by looking for the content library, which is where all the different components, such as microsites or banners or other things that you created on the Employee Center will live. So I'll start with looking at content library, and then from there, I'll create a new one, which is my news article, and get started with the article creation process. So you'll notice there's a pop-up that shows up that asks me, okay, what are you trying to create? What's a content format? And I can click on news, and I can also click on other parts on the platform. Maybe for a portal, I can have a banner, I can add events, and any other content types that I'm thinking about. But again, just for today, I am going to look at how to create this news article, and I'll continue from there. Now I'm taken to this editor view. This is that drag and drop experience that Pooja was talking about earlier. And as a news or content creator here, I want to create an article on how I can how employees can access their news on their mobile device, which again is a November release for our Employee Center. And so to get started, I'm going to create a new record type so that I can always go back to it in the future, and I can refer to this if I ever need a search or make any type of edits in the future. And then I'll keep this active so that this article can get published once we define when the start and end dates are and once the published plans have kicked off. Now, the article published start date, I'm going to say, yes, I want this to start today, and I want it to last for a month just so that I can give enough time for people to see this information. And this published start date is just giving the timeline for the publishing just from an article level. Now, it can further be defined when you define those published plans and we can go into that more later on too. Now, on the middle section here for the content, I want to give a headline as to what my article is going to be about. So I am going to say, yep, check out your news article on your mobile device. And then a little subheadline just to give some context on what this article is going to be about and what is the news capability on mobile. And then after that, if I want to add an image on the right, just so people have a visual, then I can choose to attach an image from here as well and go from there. Now, once I do this, when we look on the right here, the content preview is showing me everything that I've inputted so far. So that's just a nice way to check in and make sure that what I'm entering is looking right and it's up to my standards on how I want my news article to appear. And so far, it's been good. So I'm going to move on to the next thing and look at the content templates. Now, as Pooja had mentioned earlier, the content template is a template that allows you to do more bulk publishing and more high volume publishing, right? With content templates, it can define where should this article live, and who should see this so that you don't have to create them every single time when you have a news article that you want to author. So I'll get into this more later on when we talk about the published plans, but just so you're aware, you have this capability to reduce that repetitive work for you as it relates to publishing. Now, under my content templates, I have 3 different options for now, and I'm just going to say, yeah, I'm going to pick the news default because I know that this content template is something that works for this type of article and has the right audience and people that I'm trying to promote this article to. Now, lastly, I'm going to add a category just so people can find this article in the right place and just make it easier for them to look for this information. So in the category here, these are all the ones that we've included as a part of the out-of-the-box experience. But of course, if you want to add more categories and if you want to change up the names and different things like that, then you have the ability to do so. But for today, I'm just going to say that this is under the company news category, and once we check our work later on, we can see this in this section. Now I'm going to save this and look at the content preview one more time and see that all the inputs that I've provided so far are showing up correctly. And now I can move on to the next thing, which is actually creating the article or body of my article. So I can click on Open Editor, and that's where that rich content editor piece comes into play. And this editor here is giving me that blank canvas to work with, so I can add these different components, like maybe a 1 column or a 2 column, right? Or just types of information, whether it's like a an image or a text or maybe a button so that people can click on something and get redirected to another link. So for my article about news being on mobile, I want to start off with just giving a little introduction into what this capability is. So I'll have a one column and a text that tells the reader, hey, this is what news is all about. What, you can come check it out uh, and learn more from this article. So I have this introduction section here. I can also have styling options, different properties to make this a little bit more to my own brand or to a certain type of style or format that I'm looking for. But for today, I'm just going to leave like this for now. And in the next section, I also want to add a little bit more information for my readers just so that they understand what is news. So I'll add this two column, and from there, one section will just be to provide some more context on what is the news capability. So we'll have a list of different features that are included here so that the employee can refer to this and know what they can do with news on mobile and how they can view their articles. And on the right, I do want to include an image just so that the reader can get a sense of, how do they find their news article or just have a different visual to work off of. So I'm going to add this image that shows a mobile device screenshot and shows the employee where that news center is on their mobile device. And then lastly, I do want people to take action. So in case if they aren't aware of a mobile app at all and they need to download something, now I can give them an option and link them to our mobile app link. So I'm going to add a button here on the right, but before I do that, let me just add one more column and then add this button. And on the button here, I can provide a label that says, all right, if you're an iOS user, you can download the app here. And I'll also include a link that tells the users where they should go for this mobile app. And then I want this link to get shown on a new window, not on the current one that we're looking at. And then from there, I'm going to save this. And I can also view these articles in different devices, whether it's a tablet or a phone. So this is just a nice preview on all the different ways that employees may engage with news articles and kind of give you a sense of how the articles are looking on there. Now, after I feel good about this, I've put everything I needed to. Maybe I'll add another button that says download for Android as an example. I'm going to move on and I'm going to say, yes, this is good. I can save and finish. And then it takes me back to that design page. And on the design page, now in this content preview section, I can see everything that I've typed up so far, the headline, the news, the body of the article. And once I feel okay about this, I can now move on to the publishing side. And before I get into the publish tab, Pooja, anything else you want to add here or maybe address questions live?
Yeah, no particular questions that are coming up, but I do want to highlight that, you can see the language settings over here. So that gives you the ability to translate it and view the content directly from here. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, thank you. Almost forgot about that one. That's a good feature. Um, all right, so the last thing I'll do for today is actually publish the article and make sure people can see it. So on top, I'm going to just quickly preview on the portal just to make sure it looks good. I'm happy with how it looks. And so far, it's fine. So I can move on to the next thing then. In the published plans, you'll notice that there are already some that are showing up and are auto-generated. Now, this goes back to that content template that we were talking about earlier. And within the content template, it gives you those plans already, right? It tells you, okay, where is this article going to live in the all news widget on maybe in our news center? And who is this going to show up to? Is it going to be for active users? Is it going to be for employees in certain regions, right? We can define this further to make sure that the right audience sees it in the right place in their different devices. Now, for today, I also want to just add a new publish plan to make sure that this article can also be seen in our topic page for IT. So I'm not going to edit any of these. Again, this is a capability that is possible where you can edit it, but I do want to just add that new publish plan. And the way that I can do this is pretty straightforward. So first, I'm going to define what the schedule is for a topic page. And then from there, where is this information going to live? The location, I'm going to say it's for the service portal, but you'll also see that there's other options like a workspace or on your mobile device. But for now, we'll just keep it on the service portal first, and then what page we want to do this in. So in the page, we need this to show up in the taxonomy topic, and then which widget it's specifically going to show up in that related news. And lastly, if we want to define the taxonomy as well, then we can choose the employee taxonomy, which is what is activated in our instance. And then lastly, if we want to get even more granular and say, hey, which topic do we want this article to show up in, then we can add that topic as well. So again, this is kind of like an IT article. So I'm going to say, yep, I want this to show up in technology services. And that pretty much sums up where we want to put this article. Now, another element to this is who do we want this to have access to these articles? And I'm going to pick an audience. And again, these are audiences you can put together beforehand to say, hey, it might be for, employees in certain regions or employees with certain roles or for active users, etc. And for now, I'm going to say, yes, I want this to show up to all of my active users so that they can all take advantage of this, look at news on the go, and have this capability. And then lastly, we also want to define when this article is going to show up, whether it's always being active, right? Always active meaning unless I take it down, it's always going to be there, or active during a specific duration. We want this to show up maybe for a week or a month, right? And for now, I'm just going to say, yep, I want this to show up for maybe, I don't know, 2 weeks in this topic page. And I'll save my publish plan. And then from there, once I am good with all of my published plans, I can activate it. And now my article is live. So let me go back to the front end view just to show you all the topic page and the article actually showing up on our front end. All right, so I'm back on my technology services topic page. I already published my article, and I can see that in that related news widget, I'm able to look at this article that I have just written, and I can also go back to my categories to check out the company news section and see the article there as well. All right, let me pause here. Anything else we should address for today? Pooja?
That was good, Melody. Thank you so much. This was an amazing demo. Couple of things that I will emphasize on. If you would go back to the authoring view, if you have that tab open, we are setting duration of when this article is active in two places. One is the activation of the article itself. So news is not news if it is always active. Like you want it to be like this is news only for a one month period of a time or so on, whatever you define. So that is the activation of the article itself. And then when you get into the publishing plan, if you will see the publishing plans that Melody has, there is a window defined like for active field over here, there is a window defined for each of these. So you can define, I want this article to be available in featured news for, let's say, a week, to be available in topic pages always, like as part of that topic news for the duration of the article, that is the 1 month that we defined, so on. So you can essentially just be granular. If your granular time window is beyond your article window, the article window is what will be taken into effect. So you do need to have the article available. Lastly, Melody, could you just open a content template view from all? Just get into one of the existing pre-built content templates. I want to just highlight a couple of things over there.
Yep, here it is.
So if you like this, these are the ones that we have kind of pre-built, and you can see, so this is okay. You can see there are multiple different configurations that are available. So at a template level, you are also defining the duration for which it is active. So you don't have to always redefine and think about what you want. You can just educate your content authors that these are the different templates. You can just follow one of the templates for a given community news. And then the content destinations is essentially where you are defining the publishing plan for each widget. And when you go inside it, so like if you would just click into latest news homepage, or yeah, just click on that. Here you are talking about where it is, whether it is active or not. So go back. This is essentially telling where the entire destinations. The audience is telling you where exactly the audience tab next to content destination is the audience at the topic level. And the next thing that we have added is category. So you can actually have categories associated with a template. So if you pick that template, you know which categories are available or applicable to that template. So this kind of makes that whole setup for employee news and making sure there is consistency on how and where the news gets communicated on the portal really effective. So just wanted to bring that up. All right. Thank you, Melody, for that amazing demo. And there have been a lot of questions that are being answered. So please refer the Q&A panel, the answer tab to see those. I do want to give you a quick tip before we leave. So let me just go back and get screen share. Yeah, so there are multiple different experiences that are possible on Employee Center. You would want to make sure you are thinking about the purpose for each. So we often get asked, like, should we be using knowledge article for this? Should we be using news? How is banners different from news? Or even how is employee forums or communities different? Each of these solve a different purpose. Knowledge articles are essentially meant for things that are meant to stay for a longer time. So these are things that they're not news. That's not something new that was relevant only for a week or two or a month and then will die down. So you don't want the knowledge articles to be as such. Uh, Knowledge articles are best suited for things like policy statements, how to content, what is content, which you won't be updating very frequently. You do want to update at a regular basis, but you're not creating a completely new article every time and sunsetting the old articles very frequently. Whereas employee news is something that is more dynamic. It is like the newer policy updates or company news. It's used for communicating changes and announcements. These are the articles that are not meant to stay active for a year. These are literally what you would say news. Banners or actionable banners or content experiences banners that you would have on the homepage or topic pages or any of the pages on Employee Center Pro, they are meant to quickly draw employees' attention on something specific. Now, that specific thing could be an action that they need to take, could be a knowledge article that they should read. It could even be news or external content or external links. It's just a very engaging way to just draw their attention. And lastly, employee forums and communities are a place. This is a functionality also available with Employee Center Pro, by the way. It's a place to build a community of employees or engage them around a specific topic. Now, in our roadmap for employee news, and you may have seen it in the Q&A panel, we do have in our roadmap to build social engagement around news. So being able to like, being able to comment, being able to share news articles, all of that is coming. But that is around that news article. Employee forums or community will still be if you're looking to build a community or a topic that you would engage a set of employees on a regular basis, that would still be communities. With that, let me see if there are any other Q&A that we should pick up. Okay, I think we're doing good. I see a couple hand raised and I will allow, Sandy, I allow you to talk. Go ahead and unmute yourself. Okay, I think we're facing some difficulties, but thank you everyone for joining. We are on top of the hour and I'll be still here for a few minutes for those who want to ask questions, but for rest of you, thank you so much for joining and hopefully this was helpful. Jason, Sandy, if you want to try Unmuting, you can ask your question.